Hello and welcome to another Writerly Witterings with a slightly subdued Jex today. I'm afraid the inevitable has happened and we are now down to only the one hound. Sad fact is, yesterday we had to take the old Dalmatian Spotty dog into the vets on her one-way trip. She'd been getting weaker and weaker over the last few days, and she fell over a couple of times on Saturday, and it was obvious that she was in great discomfort. So, yeah, I'm afraid we're now a one-dog family for a little while. We'll get another dog, because there's nothing worse than having one dog and that dog dying. Far, far better you have two dogs, so you always have someone to keep you company. Anyway, that's the depressing bit out of the way. Today, after yesterday's look at the rather fascinating new Evernote notebook, I thought, well, it's actually probably about time to compare this with some of my other favourite notebooks. So today I'm just talking about notebooks, and at the end, if you want, there's going to be some photos and clips of the old Spotty dog in her prime, for those who are interested. Let's get to the notebooks. Now, I've had a couple of people ask to leave Brandy Dazzle and other inks in a pen for quite some time so we can see, will it clog the mechanism, will it give any great problems. This pen has had this Brandy Dazzle in this TWSBI Go with a 1.1mm nib for over a month. I think it's actually 6 weeks. As you can see, I'm writing here on Rhodia paper, which is quite smooth and great stuff to write on. You can see here though that all the sediment is down there. This pen hasn't been shaken or moved for about 6 weeks. There was a little bit of skipping there. So let's just say a tiny amount of skipping. Yep, some little bit there too. There and there. Now let's just give it a quick shake. So now that sediment is fully distributed. Oh wow. And now it's absolutely fine. So I have to say, from this test, you have to excuse me, I am getting over a bad cough and cold. From this test, the only thing I would say is that if you have Brandy Dazzle left in your pen for a while, the first bits of writing will have no glitter, because there isn't any. Whereas here, it is astonishingly thick glitter. This is when I shook it. But no skipping, no real problem whatsoever. That is, I think, fantastic. Now, I should also say, in my Fude pen, I have been using platinum black carbon, which they say you should not leave in it. You should not leave in it. I've had absolutely no trouble with this whatsoever, and in fact, yesterday, I hadn't used the pen for, trying to think how long it was, but it's about 3 weeks probably, and the ink had been staying in the pen, and I thought I'd just do a little sketch up of Staple Tor, and I thought, that's interesting, let's see what it would be like in ink. And the pen had no problems whatsoever. So I think the stories about platinum carbon possibly gunking up your pen are about as reliable as the stories of Brandy Dazzle and similar glittery pens gucking up your pen nib, because You can see the shimmer on all of that writing. It's just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So yes, that's going to be used to write all my Christmas cards. And the Christmas cards, oddly enough, will almost certainly be a snowy scene based on that picture. Because I like that picture, I think it works well. So that's the non-writerly wittering stuff out of the way. Now, notebooks. Here I have a wonderful selection of different types of notebook. Including these ones. Everybody has a need for a different type of notebook. Some people want to have the ultra slim type that you can fit into a pocket with ease. Some people want things which have got lots of printed material, like the Euler. This is very useful for those who want to have a variety of different things that they need to keep working on, so to-do lists and diary section, monthly section, projects and daily tracking, notes of stuff to do for the year, projects, stats, newsletter writing, blog posts, etc. This is a really good planner for people who are involved in a lot of work to do with YouTube or blogging or anything like that. It is fabulously useful. The paper is not as good as it could be. The paper is not really fountain pen friendly. Certainly not for something that's a gusher. But a lot of people do like hardbound quality notebooks. Now, this is my current Leuchtturm, which, as you can see, is great. Oh, I missed a couple of pages. Oh no, that's terrible. But in here are tons and tons of notes about books and things I've got to do and all sorts of stuff. And the thing I really like about them is that they have page numbering. So here you can see page 97, 96, etc. So you have page numbering, so you can put in your own contents. And that is damn useful sometimes. Another nice touch that you always get with Leuchtturm is they give you, get it out, they give you a series of stickers that you can use on the spine and on the cover page, so you can write out exactly what is in that particular book. I find these really very good. The paper is very good and safe for most inks and most styles of nib, or even pencil. They're hardbound, which works well for me, and they do have a number of different types. So here, for example, is a Leuchtturm, which I really do love, which is a dot grid version, because this is designed to be used as a bullet journal. So it's got descriptions of what you can do with a bullet journal, how you can do it, and then at the back there's a few more notes about bullet journaling and how to index and move stuff across from one section to another. I love the Leuchtturm, but I don't use it as a bullet journal. The reason why I like this is because it's got things such as 3 bookmarks, so you can keep different projects going with a separate bookmark. 3 of them. That to me makes it really handy. And again, it's got page numbering, so you know where you are. Here we are, page 174, etc. Because it's got all the lines and everything, you can make use of not lines, it's got the dot grid, so you can set it up really as you want on each page. And I personally find it very useful when keeping track of novels, for example, here. So I actually prefer the dot grid version of the Leuchtturm to a standard Leuchtturm, which is a bit of a pain because I've got 2 spare Leuchtturms up there. Then again, you've got things like the Evernote. Now, Evernote is a moderately new company, I think, but I just love their paper. I love the fact that they've got plain paper for a start, and it is just superbly designed. And when you buy one of their books, it also comes with a series of standard layouts that you can use. So you can shove one of these, for example, underneath a page, and then using a ruler you can go around, or you can just write over the top without having to do anything with it. Basically just a simple design with a number of different layouts that you can use, which is well thought out. It really works well for me, and I find the quality of the paper is pretty much superb. It can't really be beaten by anyone, I don't think. It is very, very good quality paper. I love the fact it's made in India, because I love India. I have a deep affection for the country. And yeah, what's not to like? In terms of other stuff, it doesn't have page numbering, it doesn't have a chapter page, but you can put that in yourself. You can use it as a daily journal, you can use it as a jotter, you can use it as a sketchbook. It fulfills all the requirements. This is one I acquired last year, a Bond notebook. Again, page numbered, as you can see down here, 245. Dot grid layout, nice and simple, doesn't have a chapter headings section, but you can again do that yourself. It's not a great problem. Very good quality paper, really nice. And then you get really quite cheap things. This is from W.H. Smith's, and I love it. The lines are a bit far apart, but the nice thing is it's just really simple, very effective. It's got stitched bindings, so it does open absolutely flat, no problem at all. It's got nothing clever about it at all. There's no page numbering, it's just lined pages, not even an enclosure to shut it. But the simple fact is, it's really cheap, it's damn good quality paper, and it works. Okay, so those are the basic ones. Now you can get smaller things. These are two that I really love. I'll show this one first, which is the Cafe by Nanami Paper. I love it because it is a simple compact design. I like the fact it comes with its own blotting paper. I don't like the fact it's a square grid. I just don't like square grids. It's a personal thing. Don't hate me for it. But this paper is, oh, so good. And I can imagine going and sitting for hours in a cafe and just watching people and noting ideas, because that's the sort of thing that this would be perfect for. And then of course it comes in its own sleeve, so you can put it away if you're competent. You can put it away and leave it looking neat. I have also got the Writer, which is another Nanami paper book, but this one is rather larger, and with this you get lined paper. That is, I think, about the only difference. It's larger, the paper's lined, you still get the blotting paper, still no page numbering or anything like that. It is very basic stuff, but oh, it's beautiful to write on. Now the only trouble you might have, if you're using a fat nib that gushes rather, then you will find you get some ghosting. If you're using a lighter ink like Deltsblau from Ackermann, then it's nothing like as bad. But yeah, you pays your money, you makes your choice. It will certainly be ideal for making notes with, for example, pencil. Just a fantastic notebook. But my favourite of the smaller bound notebooks is definitely this, which is a Midori, which has all the advantages of the Cafe, but it's lined. And I also like the fact it's got separate sections on each page. I've never actually used that, but I love them. I think it's just a really neat idea that you can separate things out. The paper is thick enough that you get no ghosting, nothing whatsoever. It is gorgeous. Really, really nice little notebook to use. It opens absolutely flat, not a problem there. And the binding seems to be really strong. It's almost like glass fibre reinforcement, like that packing tape you get. And it is wonderful. Cannot speak highly enough of that, actually. And it's Midori paper made in Japan, it says there. Don't know if you can see that, probably can't. And then we move on. Now, as you will almost certainly know, I love my William Hannahs. These things tend to be on my desk all the time. I'm constantly using them. I have a variety of different types of paper, so I've got some plain, I've got some dot grid, I've got some lined in both of them, so I can basically decide what I'm going to be doing at any moment without any great difficulty. This is my new diary for next year, which I'm going to start filling out very soon. And then I also have in here weekly planners, and where is it? My to-do lists are always kept in here too, so I know exactly what I've got to do. Today I've got a fairly full one. Not going to show you all that because there's some of it is secret, but I just find the William Hannah paper is superb. I love the way that these things work with these big rings, so you can pull pages out and move them around wherever you want. That for me is enormously handy, especially when I'm working on a book. But when I'm out and about, it's my traveller's notebooks that I tend to go back to time and time again. Nice and simple, just an elastic band to hold things in place. I have dot grid and lined in this one currently, but the Midori, I love that leather. It doesn't matter which version you have, which type of leather, you can see the patina that it gathers over time, and you can see here, shows up better actually on the camera than it does in real life, just how dark that's got, because I tend to hold my books on the spine. And then finally, of course, we've got the soft covered Kaye holder that I showed you last week. And this is, again, really rather fabulous. I'm very, very impressed with this, and I'm using it more and more because it's ideal for me to carry around. I was thinking I'd just replace these notebooks with some painting paper and use it as a sketch pad holder. But the great thing about this is it actually fits in my trouser map pocket. I tend to use the same trousers all the time. They're Craghoppers, classic style, and they have a map pocket which is just the perfect size for this. I wear Craghoppers all the time because they're comfortable, they're quite a loose fit, they're ideal for going walking because when they get wet up on the moors they dry off very quickly, and they have a map pocket which means I can carry lots of stuff. But this fits perfectly and I don't need anything else then. You can also see I've been using this quite a bit because it's getting its own patina where the suede-ish sort of finish is getting marked by the place where I hold it all the time. Again, I tend to hold this by the spine the same way as I do with my Midori. Are these the only notebooks and planning books that I use? No, they're not. They're the ones that are easiest to show. This is my basic planning book. Ring bound, nice and simple, and in here every, what is it, must be A2 or A3, every page, A3 that's right, has plans, ideas, what I'm trying to do with a particular book, or even maps to remind me what I'm supposed to be doing or what the characters were doing or something similar. I have dozens of these, but that I bought dirt cheap. They're only about £1 each. The paper is absolutely rubbish. You cannot use a fountain pen on it. Let me demonstrate that. Where is it? Really is one of the most irritating colds I've had in a very long time. Well, I haven't had a cold for a long time. This is ink, green ink, and you can see pen and ink. That's a standard Conway Stewart, and everything comes straight through. It's absolutely useless. Rather like me, because I've just managed to knock all of those notebooks on the ground. Hey ho, never mind. Quickly picking them up again. And then this is the last one I'll show you. This is hardbound. This is one of those notebooks I keep, again, like my Leuchtturm. This just holds tons and tons of information about what I'm doing at the time, whether it's writing a story, whether it's planning a video, whatever it might be. It's fabulous because this is Tomo River paper from paperforfountainpens.com, and when this notebook is finished I will be ordering some more from them because this has become almost my Bible. So that's a quick whiz through all the different types of notebook you can get. The question of course is, what's best for you? And that's really for you to decide. Is it something like a cafe from Nanami with excellent paper, even if it is squared off? Not ideal for me, but you may love it. Is it something like the Midori with the 2 different sections that you can write in, which I find really interesting, strange idea, but absolutely delightful. I find that works very well for me. What are my favourites? I would say it comes down to 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's interesting. So the favourites, I think, daily planning and jottings and notings at my desk, definitely William Hanna. Slightly more detailed planning, working on projects, things that aren't necessarily to do with a story, definitely the Leuchtturm dot grid. I still use the Leuchtturm all the time to keep track of my stories, but then for daily carry, these 2. But then I also need my A4 thing too, because sometimes I need a bigger page to work on. I could probably do with that and not the very big one. Anyway, that's a quick run through of my favourite things. What are yours? Let me know it down the bottom. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope that was interesting. Don't forget, if you've got any comments you want to add, stick them down the bottom. If you want to join the Fountain Pen Pals Club, there's an email address underneath here. Write to that and I'll send you a link through to join. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can go to Patreon. You can like it, share it, subscribe, hit the bell button if you want to, and all the other good stuff which these folks do. And now, apart from that, thanks a lot for watching and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Boo.